A van ran over a sidewalk in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This took place on Yonge Street, one of the busiest, most crowded streets in Toronto. The suspect in police custody is Alek Minassian. This heinous crime resulted in the murder of at least 10 innocent people and injuring 15 others. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, these events are becoming all too common. People using their vehicles to run over pedestrians to prove a point is becoming way too common. Whether you pledge allegiance to ISIS and you run over people in a shopping mall, or you try to run people over on the streets, whether you belong to a alt-right, some sort of white nationalist hate group and you run people coming out of a mosque, or you run people in a peaceful protest in Charlottesville, Virginia, it is almost as if these crazy murderous people have figured out that these vehicles that we drive in, these vehicles are not only forms of transportation that take us from point A to point B, but can also be used as lethal weapons. The police described Alek Minassian as a suspect with no clear motives. As it is with all these lone wolf, no motive attacks. The friend says, oh well, he was lonely, he was depressed, he was a misfit, he was not social, he wasn't very popular. It's almost as if every single one of these crazy lone wolf attacks has the exact same story. I'm just gonna, you know what, whenever I refer to a lone wolf attack, I'm just gonna call them Timothy. If you're gonna have the one same generic story, we're going to have the one same generic name. By the way, apologies in advance for anybody named Timothy, because I'm gonna use your name a lot. At first I was going to talk about hypocrisy in the media, and the fact that because his name is Alek Minassian or whatever, he's just a suspect with no motive, but if his name was Ahmed or Khalid, or they could smell a scent of Islam on him, or potentially be Muslim, then it would have immediately been suspected terrorist absent any evidence. However, I decided not to go deep into that because the story gets a lot weirder. Before he committed his crime, this dude posted a cryptic message on Facebook. When the police deciphered this message, what they found out was that this guy was sexually frustrated, angry at all women, angry at all men, and therefore decided to commit this crime to teach people a lesson. Police explained his actions as him punishing women who rejected him and punishing men who succeeded where he didn't. Really? First of all, those aren't the same women who rejected you. Second of all, how do you know those men have succeeded where you didn't? How do you know those men aren't struggling as well? How do you know those men aren't lonely, depressed, and frustrated? The only difference is they are working on their issues. They are actually actively working towards finding a solution, waking up every day and trying to fix things in their lives. You simply decided to take lives. You're the coward in this situation, and the only person who deserves to be punished is you. And then this got me thinking, instead of police in North America disproportionately targeting black communities and spying on Muslim communities, maybe they should expand their spy circle and start focusing on socially awkward misfits in high school. That'll be a great allocation of resources. So this dude was lonely, sexually frustrated, socially awkward, and didn't have too many friends and wasn't overly popular. Great! That's like 50% of the male population right there. So you're telling me that anyone who's lonely, depressed, and socially awkward is now at risk of becoming a murderer? That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. There are a lot of depressed people out there. There are a lot of lonely people out there. There are a lot of socially awkward people out there. Very few of them become murderers. This is not a good excuse. Yet again, how do I know they didn't become murderers? Maybe they just didn't get caught. Anyways, I don't know. But then it got me thinking, how many brown people do we know that we've heard of on the news commit crimes because they're sexually frustrated and women reject them? I think it's not that high. And here's why. Because we have options. Hello, mama, baba, كيف حالكم? شو أخباركم? Is Hamida still available for marriage? What about Shahida? What about Fahida? Nice. I'll be on my way. The dowry is 2 cows, 1 goat. Got it. Or plan B, you join ISIS and they find you a wife. Yeah, maybe don't do that. All in all, this is a hideous, heinous crime, and this person needs to be punished to the maximum extent of the law. Right now, all we can really ask for is for God to give the families of these victims patience, and for the justice system to give this man what he deserves. And the scary thing is, this could happen anywhere. We all walk on sidewalks, we all walk in malls, we're always walking around vehicles, we're always walking around cars, and we're always driving on streets. And at any point in time, something like this can happen, whether it's on purpose or by accident. There are a lot of car accidents out there, yet we still drive. There are a lot of vehicles that hit pedestrians by accident, yet we still walk on sidewalks, we still cross streets. Because yes, there's a legal system, but there's also this sense of trust that most people are logical and won't do something crazy. Unfortunately, every now and then, something like this happens, and it really makes you question humanity. That's all I know so far about this topic, so stay safe, and until next time, Assalamu alaikum, and peace be with you.